Well, folks, we start the way we start. It's one of those days that I have to try and keep my submission as short as possible, even though I have many to say. As you know it, until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter, and we shall say that again. Folks, I said until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. Hello and welcome to the most opinionated hour on radio and the nation's thought-provoking hour. I am Nana Ansah Kwao, the fourth chief of the Little Republic of Akwemu Edumasa. Folks, on such a time, I say thank God it's Monday. And what a beautiful day it has been, all bright and wonderful. Well, if you ever not, chasing cars and transport about, hoping to get to work or school, it's been a wonderful, wonderful day. Now it's time to gather around and make truth good. A time to perform radio's all-important ritual. A ritual I call That's My Opinion. And our topic today, folks, pricing Ghana out of existence. We are pricing Ghana out of existence. Well, as I said, I hope you haven't been caught out there in the transportation strike business. Hopefully tomorrow it will all be settled so that in the heat and all the strike and strive and hustling in our daily schedule, we can add transportation strike to it. It has been a terrible for some today. It has really been terrible for some. And all we can say is that, hey, hopefully tomorrow would be better. But folks, it's getting to the end of the year, and very soon we will hear from the traders that this has been the worst Christmas ever. We'll hear it. This has been the worst Christmas ever. They will complain that people are just walking past but not buying. They will also say that the previous years were much, much better, even though the previous years, the same way they said that it was bad. The customers too will also say the price of goods are just too high this year compared to last year. So these songs will be played. But today I want us to look at the pricing and profit regime in Ghana. Folks, pricing and profit regime in Ghana. Because very soon we shall price ourselves out of existence to get to a point where, there will be people who probably won't be afford to even die. Folks, we don't seem to build businesses to last. We are not too keen on customer satisfaction or retention. Ours here, our whole business is here and now. Sell one or two items and kill it. Even though I must say that the millennials are now looking at customer satisfaction a bit more these days than probably in my days. Some of these high-tech people are treating customer satisfaction a bit more. I don't think they're focusing on retention, but a bit of satisfaction. Folks, when you travel, businesses seem to pride themselves with how long they have been in business. So you see signs boldly displayed, open since 1923, open since 1899. Some display the crest of the royal family, or, to say that, they even supply the royal family with their goods, adding more value to whatever it is they're selling, goods or service. The emphasis is more on satisfaction, retention, and added value. The emphasis of the business is more on retention, satisfaction, and added value. Now, once upon a time, I used to sell. I was in the car sales, right? Now, if a car sat on the forecourt for 6 weeks, they would sell that car for maybe even a little less than what they bought it for. So, assuming they bought the car for £5,000, they will put it on there and market it for maybe 5,995. After 6 weeks, if that car hasn't been sold, if somebody offers, let's say, 4,800, they would let the car go, because they deem that the space that car is occupying should by now have another car there selling. So they won't keep that car there for more than 6 weeks. But we don't have that attitude. And if you don't give me more than what I purchased this car for, it will be there. And so sometimes we drive by car dealerships, and for 2 years, the same car, some of the cars have become like a feature. You just know white or the BC. It's just there because they are not prepared to let it go. It's all profit, profit, profit. But I am saying that maybe the emphasis on satisfaction, retention, and added value would pay better in the long run. Now, I know we don't have control price system, but folks, I think we have also gotten this demand and supply thing a bit twisted. Because how much are we demanding, and who is demanding, that is making Ghana one of the most expensive countries to live in? So yes, demand and supply will determine how much I sell or buy, whatever it is. But if you look at hotels in Ghana, they are running at an average 66% occupancy. Yet the cost to stay in a hotel here compared to the West, if the same kind, is very, very high. And most hotels are near empty Monday to Thursday. Yet try booking a room. Even though, they will have a little discount for the weekdays, it's still not cheap at all. It's still not cheap. So unless you are, very rich, on a honeymoon where you have nothing, you have no choice, or on a corporate delegation, you cannot generally add this to your leisure list. To me, you paid 4,000 cedis a month, and that's what the hotel wants for a weekend. 4,000 cedis a weekend. Just but the whole 1 weekend, NASA. Who's going to even think about it? Who's going to think about it? And then sometimes you compare the same rate, and somebody in London could travel to Spain, live in a hotel for, a weekend with breakfast and some other facility, and fly back to the UK based on that same money. They're just charging you for the weekend with no flights included. Things are just too expensive. Folks, I went in a hotel in Accra to go and do a recording, an interview. And the generator was running. So, after the interview, I was chatting with the owner, and in the conversation, I commented that, oh, your lights have gone out. And he said, no, Nana, it's cheaper for me to run on a genset. So even though the lights are not off, we mix like the generator and ECG just to keep the cost down. Can you imagine? A whole hotel with a huge plant, they bought a whole lot of diesel in there because they're trying to save cost. Again, I was in a conversation with 2 hotel managers, all big hotels in Accra. And in the conversation, they were lamenting that, and generally, they were saying that for the first 2 weeks in a month, it's just working to pay bills. Cable TV, electricity, water, internet, garbage collection. And the figures they were quoting, even though they are big establishment, they seemed extraordinarily high. I mean, so you go back to the state and find out how it is that we are able to manage to negotiate such high per unit cost of energy compared to other countries. Compared to other countries, when we bring these companies here to come and generate electricity, it just so extortionate to the point that we, the customers, are unable to pay, and so there's always that deficit. It's like, I say, we've just literally cursed ourselves. Internet, folks. The whole world now has moved onto the internet. That's how businesses operate. That's how education operates. And it's still not for the common man when you come here. Yet the common man has to also survive in this internet world. So what are we doing? We are creating a divide of those who can afford internet to catch up with the world and those who can't, who are just plodding along, widening this have and have not gap. And it is not sustainable. If you look at world history, it doesn't, it gets to a point where the bar breaks. Because there will be too many people just hustling and a little people just getting by, and then all of a sudden the bar breaks. And history tells us that. But we don't seem to care. I don't see any plan or any conversation to mitigate these extortionate pricing regimes. Folks, there are 30 million people in Ghana and about 2.5 million vehicles. These 2.5 million vehicles includes farm equipment and construction equipment. 2.5 million, and we are 30 million. And still cars are not within the reach of the common man. Still cars are not within the reach of the common man. So cars that will be sold for just £500 or just $1,000, by the time they get to Ghana, they're like 3 times the price. It's just a here, forget it. I mean, but it has gotten to a point where cars are not necessarily all luxury, but it becomes a necessity. Somebody is a mason, somebody is a carpenter, they need to be able to cart some 2x4 up and down, you need to cart a little cement up and down. It's no more a luxury, it's a necessity. But then what to be? Fine. I mean, if a car is $1,000 or convert here, 6,000 cedis, they can manage it. But if the same 6,000 CD car comes here and you want 20,000 CD for it, he's out of the league. But that could have really, boosted his business and, taking 2 extra jobs, maybe one in Dansuman, one in Kaneshi, and he knows he could ferry between it because he has his own car. But don't you mean, why? He's been priced out of the system. Priced out of the system. So here we are with the state, folks, ripping us off. The private individuals are also ripping us off. Now, before I came on, I spoke to Dr. Godfred Bopping. Because of this, demand and supply and how come, and he says, no, forget about demand and supply. It's not that. There is no proper consumer protection in Ghana. So anything goes. And coming to think of it, it's true. Coming to think of it, it's true. There's no proper consumer protection. And as we were talking now, the phone, and then the phone went out. And I'm sure we've been billed for that. But who's going to call cry and say, that was bad service. So at the end of the month, take 2 CDs worth of credit because it was bad service. Nobody cares. It's anything goes. And thinking of it, folks, it's a sad truth. We have Kopi Kapito, with his consumer protection thing, who's a lone fighter, jumping up and down, doing his bit. But maybe it's not enough. Well, it's not maybe. It's certainly not enough. I mean, have you asked yourself, what at all goes into cement that makes it so expensive? What at all goes into cement that makes it so expensive, and it just goes up? Just just going up, 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 up. It's not like today they come and tell them we've added a bit of diamond, or we added a bit of gold, or today we have some copper. No, at the Kudi now, the same limestone clinker, the same brown paper. It just goes up, and almost all the ingredients too are local. To make $1 in beer. So why 50 Ghana cedis a bag? Iron rods per ton. And yet we face a huge housing deficit. And general infrastructure, we are lacking. So at these prices, it's as though we've shot ourselves in the foot. It's like you're very, very hungry, and you boil your tea and it's boiled, it's like 100 degrees, and you're sitting there looking at it, and yet you are hungry. And you won't let it cool down so you can drink it. But Okomodo, we need the cement, we need the iron rods to build our own infrastructure, but we have also priced it out of our range. And yet, so we can't build roads, we can't build schools, we can't build, and we are just there looking at it. So just the very few who can survive. The very few who can survive, probably 1, 2, 3% who can survive, are just making it. And so the whole country is littered with uncompleted buildings. What do you mean? Pricing, profit. The whole country, from government to individual, are just price and profit crazy. Folks, somehow we are able to build one of the most expensive road per kilometer, compared to many countries. Yet we lack roads. Yeah, so we need roads. We are desperate for roads. It's one of the things that will really aid development, move opportunities up and down the country. But we have priced ourselves out of our own league. We have priced ourselves out, and the very little that we are able to do, chop, obia, so they will come and do some nasty road which will wash off after the second rains, and then we sit there and we're watching. Then they'll come and tell us there's no money. Why don't we manage the cost of the road so that we can increase the kilometers we are getting per million? It is ours. We are importing our thing or making our thing. Why don't we intervene? Look at all these the aggregates that they use to do the roads. People are now building on them. The granite that we need to build the roads, and somehow we have locked ourselves to say that that's the only granite we need to use to build road. And we are allowing people to build on these things, creating more scarcity to make the roads even more expensive, because now haulage will have to come from even further. We need to pause. Hit the reset button. Rent. Folks, should I even go there? 2 years. If you're lucky, 1 year advance. And you don't even know what makes up the price. Is it just pure scarcity? You go there and there's a little, you look at the house and just say, you're lucky to get it. One of my sons goes in the morning to get the rent, and the guy says it's 300 cedis a month or something. So he goes to the cash point to get the money and brings it back in the evening, and the guy says, no, now it's 350. Can you imagine? 10 a.m. he gets there, it's 300 cedis a month. He goes to take the money, goes to work, finishes work at 8 o'clock to come and pay. The guy says it's 350. He hasn't added anything to the house. He hasn't put air conditioning in it. He hasn't put a gate on it. No, the same 350. Who is looking after us? Folks, this recently Okada delivery business service, is booming. Why? Young man, you can do a little bit of delivery. 6 kilometers. Just pick your Konako family lens 6 kilometers. Roman Ridge. Pick the thing up from Accra Poly. So just right across the Kanda Highway is 30 cities. Motorbike. You probably use a bottle top of petrol bringing just my lenses, 30 cedis. Will be the spare parts fee. Abusio kind to Tema, 130 cedis. I mean, it's like, where do you get these prices from? Is it just picking them from the air? You pick a truck to load your goods. It's just a 10-kilometer stretch. Oh, but 6 million. So how? It's just 10 kilometers from here to where you're going to drop the thing. And you also can be. What can I say? If you've said 600, what can I say? That's what I can say. So we need to calm down, folks. A patch of land in the middle of nowhere, and and if it's cantonment and the airport, and the millions of dollars. Just about like the cost of Manhattan, cost of Mayfair. What value have we added other than just price? School fees, folks. School fees. Just to get a little education for your child. Just a little decent education for your child. Now, could do on a international or signboard, no so that's that one. Run. The same school, if you go and they've written international on the signboard, run. It's not international. I said there's a school, there's a counterpart in America or there's a counterpart in France. No, and one is that's the international. And one is international. And then the fees, legal fees, folks. How many of us can even afford a lawyer or go through the legal process? So how can we live in a nation when we are just pricing ourselves out of existence? That the very few seem to be able to get on by and everybody else is just hustling and trying to get. I mean, look at the number of people living in kiosks and tents and anywhere. Do you think that is their choice? But no, they have just been priced out of survival. So I think we need to come down and find some ombudsman to look at our pricing scheme to bring, bridge this gap between the haves and the have-nots, because it's getting too wide and too dangerous. I promise not to talk too much, but I have. I promise not to talk too much, but I have. Forgive me. I even have more to say. Okay, who's my first caller?
Yeah, my name is Ben from Ansah.
Let me hear you.
Well, it is very interesting, but I'm just enjoying myself. And you've touched on so many things, and I just want to also touch on others.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, the most important thing has to do with our journalists.
Mm-hmm.
The reason being that this very morning, I called into the Super Morning Show,
Mm-hmm.
and I was talking about the price build-up. How come that the PDCs or the oil marketing companies are short-changing us? Instead, said that. Nobody followed up. Senor Hosi comes on air, speaks, and attacks everybody, but nobody asked him any questions. They only blame it on the taxes. But take the 12 city tax out of the petroleum, it is still very high as compared to Nigeria. Just because I indicated that the people were engaged in criminal activities, and the word criminal that I used, Winston Amor, took me off air. So I didn't even finish my point. How can I make my point when the journalists are not asking the problem question? And I suspect that is a tale. It's like running our media because we don't ask questions. Remember, I made this point before on your very show. When COVID-19 struck, you Nana did the show, if you remember. The fuel price at the international market, the crude oil price, came down drastically because nobody was moving. In Ghana, they did not reduce the price drastically. But once it started rising, they started raising it again. And now a gallon of fuel is between 35 to 31, 35, depending on the gallon you use, either US 5 liters per gallon or UK 4.5 liters per gallon. And they'll go for the 4.5 because it's convenient. So they'll tell you 31 cedis. And even you touch on rent, you touch on so many things. But let's look at petroleum. Nigeria, a liter $0.6. Compute that. How much is that? Look at Ghana. How much is $1? It's almost like 60 something. And they are paying 0.6 almost 6.8 now for, depending on where you even go to buy a fuel, for a liter. So they are short-changing us. So why can't we sit down, forget about the taxes for now, but though I agree that it ought to come down. But how about those lifting the fuel? Why wouldn't we be able to refine our own fuel? They ran down Tema Oil Refinery. We discovered oil. They are telling us that our oil cannot be refined in Ghana. I've never heard this anywhere. Whereas we have the engineers here, we have the technocrats here who can help us refine our own oil. There's all kinds of jargon flowing, and all that we do is to pay more. So please, paying more is not only school fees, rent. I agree with you totally on all that you said. But let's tackle another very important one, which is fuel. The price buildup. How is that? I'll be glad if you, Nana, can do a program. Let Senor Osi come to your studio, or if you can even engage him, let us understand why is it that fuel, even minus taxes, is still very expensive, and why are the oil marketing companies short-changing us? Because we are not the only people living on the earth. Ghana is on an island. Thank you very much.
And I thank you very much too. 0302 216 541. Hello, who am I talking to?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Doing well.
I'm doing well. Ajima, let me hear you.
And sometimes when you are too passionate, you take a lot of our time.
I know. I just want to say forgive me.
And when you wake up, you say you are helping each other. But we also complaining about the government punishing us. So we end up punishing our neighbors. And we all know that government is trying to do something to get enough money to take care of us, to stop overborrowing. You know, when we buy MTN 10 cedis for Marshall, they give us 303 minutes to call all network. Then they also give us, you call Monday, MTN to MTN free. Now they've cancelled the free MTN Monday free, and have also reduced it to 125 talk time, saying that the government has brought a law that they should deduct whatever. So it looks as if the little chance your neighbor will get will punish you, because when there's an adjustment of something, then we, the consumers, are going to pay for it. So do you love each other? So if MTN is saying that they care about us, is that how to care about us? These are some of the things. I start with you. God be with you.
God be with you too. Good evening, Nana. It says you forgot to mention the Montessori schools, private universities, event centers, marriage list, etc., etc. It's like Obia just say anywhere. We hello, and that was from Odote ni Odote. Hello. Hello, who am I talking to?
Hello, Nana. This is Lawe from Betule.
Lawe, let me hear you.
What you are saying is 100%. You see, if you, for instance, our market, go to market right now and ask of tomatoes. Ghana, we are of age by this using scale for tomatoes, so that if you go to one seller to another, you know that one kilogram of tomatoes is like this.
Yes.
But everybody, they just arrange it anyhow. Go to market, buy Gary, and take the Conco. They hit the back. Well, by this time we are of age, we have to be using scale.
Yes, I agree
so that you know that one kilogram of Gary is like this. But everybody is selling anyhow. There is a school in front of me. That school will be opening next academic term. I even want to know the price, so that by the time the school will be open, I'll prepare myself. They say I should wait because it's international school. So I have to buy the form 100 cedis. Then I'll wait for the price. So what about if by next step I buy the form and I can't afford the price, then which means my 100 cedis is I don't know how easy I would say. So Ghana, we are killing ourselves. It's too much.
It's too much. It's very too much. And look, those of you who sell things on Facebook, right? And then they won't put the price and say, DM me for the price. I mean, what is the big secret? What is the big secret? You're selling something, you put it on Facebook, and it says DM me. Is it that you're going to go through my profile and find out if I can pay a higher price or what? I mean, If you're one of those guys, maybe you can call and explain. Hello, who's talking to me? Hello? Hello? Anyone on the line? Okay. Hello, who's talking to me?
Good evening, Nana.
Good evening.
I'm Nana Kwesi.
Nanakwesi, let me hear you.
Yeah, talking about pricing, Go to our various institutions, the passport office, the DVLA, those kind of institutions. Go there and want to acquire a license or whatsoever and listen to the prices. Same license, maybe same card, same drive, whatever, but prices are different depending on who you meet at the office. This is Ghana. Good evening.
Good evening to you. 0302216541. We are talking about arbitrary pricing system and profit hungry. I mean, somebody comes from Legon, he does a little bit, looks nice. Beat here for 250 cedis. Hello, 250 cedis. I mean, it's nice, you know. Can't you sell it so that you sell, lots and lots and lots of it so that you stay in business? 250, so they sell like 20 and then they're out of business. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, my name is David.
Hello, David.
Yes, good evening, Nana.
Good evening.
Nana, how are you?
I'm very well, David.
We thank the Almighty God for your life.
Amen.
And pray that He continue to keep you for us.
Amen.
Nana, this is a very wonderful topic. But you see, what this is that, for me, I am a 68 born. And I saw what happened in 1979. Do you understand? All the coups I witnessed. Now, what I'm trying to say here is that, as I before say, Ghana for your pro, some money. Now, you should be a very day, over Hoye. Let me put it that way. Now, you're talking about this pricing here and there. Somebody woke up early morning, woman, and then crosses the road from the market to Jomi market to the next part of the road. Now, cars that come to load cassava, plantain, what have you. You buy this thing very cheap. Then you go to the market and we're hiking the price. We all drive on the way from here to Kumasi. A bunch of, what do you call it, banana. You know how much it costs. Yesterday, I bought just that for 10 Ghana cedis. Now, what am I trying to say? We need to wake up from our slumber. The government, who is the government? Now, this government that came into power, immediately they instituted a levy on roadworthiness certificate. For God's sake, look at how they handle the situation. Everybody wants to buy a car. Good. The government should push the taxes to the cars, especially the private cars. How can you be driving V8 and you go and pay roadworthy 1,120 Ghana cedis? The commercial driver, which is the taxi, will pay the same amount twice in a year. Is it fair? Now the government came and looked at it and then instituted this roadworthy system. But look, V8, you are paying 1,500 Ghana cedis roadworthy for a year. This is what we should all support. But people rose up against it and they have to pull it back. Now, we are crying one development, one road, one this. Where is the money going to come from? Where is that money coming from? Now, I use a Range Rover V8 because of the thickness of traffic from Hacho to Ashoman Estate. I have to use the bypass road, which is the Boshe, and the road is so bad. And if I have to go and fix this car, I have to spend like between 3,000, 4,000 Ghana cedis. to fix it when I could have saved this money for something else. So please, we need to wake up from our slumber. People are talking too much, and people are unnecessarily wicked. So many people are imagining what to themselves, and that is why in this country we don't have one single rich person.
Thank you very much there. 0302216541. Who's talking to me?
I'm John from Quintus.
Joe, let me hear you.
I've done a little research. It seems like our leaders are pushing us to be a Jew. Why am I saying this? Usually on our road, in Ghana here, we use about 5 billion liters of fuel every year.
Okay.
Per the population we have and the number of cars. And then we tax 48 pesos per liter at levy for the road support. This is a situation, if you divide or multiply it, you are going to get 2.4 billion attacks from fuel alone.
Okay.
And our leaders are telling us that, what do you call it? Each kilometer of road artifacting, Ghana is to cost Ghana 1.5 million cedis. We are getting 2.4 billion. And 1.5 million, that's about 160 kilometers of road. And if you are doing that, we are going to, like, 3 lanes. We can construct motorway like several times with that kind of money. So why don't they open the toll booth, even if they want to close the toll? We can use this fuel money to construct roads.
I get you. People want to see that, maybe be cost. Be cost. Hello, who am I talking to?
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Nana, your own side. Derek.
Derek, let me hear you.
Nana, I'm at a loss here. Because so silly. But Nana, my point is, have we equity, fairness, sympathy for?
Derek, stay away from your radio. Come on, you are a veteran caller. Why are you by your radio?
Hello, Nana.
Yes, sir. Let me hear you.
I'm saying it's like the word patriotism, equity, and others is no more in our lexicon. Everybody is doing whatever he wants or she wants, and until when? So let's crack the whip for once. Let's wait for. I don't know. Anytime when I start talking about this thing, it brings back to bringing on board the traditional leaders. Because as it stands here, we've undergone all this from 1992. We are not getting anywhere. And we keep crying wolf. Until when should we get the answer? Let the traditional leaders come on board. Let's have upper chamber. So it will be a unified source of governance. But for now, Nana, you are doing your part too. I appreciate you so much. But how many of you are willing to sacrifice their titles to do what we are doing? Well, let's pray.
We shall pray to 0302216541. Hello, who's talking to me?
Yes, Nana, this is Kwame.
Kwame, let me hear you.
Nana, have you taken the pain to check the tax component on clinker?
No, I haven't actually.
Nana, please do that. Or even go to Randy Abe's Good Morning Ghana program. He actually said that. Nana, when you see the tax component on clinker, Nana, you will wait for Mother Ghana.
I see.
The import duties and everything, it even triples the price of clinker, the imported clinker into this country. Nana, let's go to the e-levy, for instance. We are saying that the telcos are making 5 billion plus annually or whatever. Now the government wants to charge us 1.75 as tax component. If we say that the telcos are making this huge sum, you are the regulator. Why can't you just regulate that set sum, that 1%, and say that I could take 0.5, I'll take 0.5? Because you think that the Ghanaian companies have money, so you want to take it from them. What service is the government doing for us to charge us 1.75? The telcos are providing a platform for us to prevent us from going through all the risks of carrying huge sums of money around. What service is the government providing for us? If you look at the Taiman Abukobi Road, for instance, the road is very bad, and you want to charge me 1.75? If things are going on well in this country, Nana Akufo-Addo can do a road trip or a flight of $100,000 an hour. No Ghanaian will complain. But things are difficult. That is why Ghanaians are complaining that there was the $14,000 a flight that is, an hour flight is taken. You should account for it.
I can agree with you on that. 0302216541. Hello.
Yeah, good evening, Nana.
Good evening.
Yeah, Nana. I think tell Napo to emulate your lifestyle. Are you okay with me?
Yeah.
The so-called energy minister, tell him to emulate your lifestyle.
Oh.
Yeah, tell him to emulate you. You understand my point? Yeah. And you should read this 1 to 20. Supposed to read 49, verse 1 to 20.
I'm sure. I'm sure the good people will inform him. This one says, on this special day, I have nothing to say, but I can't imagine my world without a look-alike sister like you. You may not know, but you make this world a better place worth living, knowing I always have a backbone to rely on. Happy birthday, Paulina Bianca Nelson. This is from your sister, Susanna Nelson. Also, happy birthday to the one and only the legend KSM. Yesterday was your birthday, and you were trending all over. Happy birthday. So those of you who forgot it, kindly give him a call and wish him a happy birthday. And Paulina Bianca, happy birthday to you too. Mr. Smith is here. Give you the news bulletin. Kofi will be here while we think about how to reduce prices, calm down on prices. We'll be playing out some really solemn and divine music. So we so search Nyenya Papa Kakra. Abrona Dawson. Dr. Joseph Ladime. Of Winneba. Thank you for tuning in. Until next Monday. Let me say that the mayor-elect of New York was in Akwamu over the weekend, and he came for spiritual cleansing. Tinyinya kakra, nyamidia kakra, and he says, I left here as a slave, but I've come with mayoralty. And we did everything good. Thanks to Odeno Hokwa Fakoto. Folks, stay tuned until the lions have their own historians. Tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter.